Oh, goodness. Oh, so mine is titled Surrendering the Mask. My whole life I've mastered wearing masks. Mask of laughter that covered up my shame. Mask of smiles that covered up my hurt. Mask of hugs and encouragement, which covered up my own brokenness. It was easier to reach out and help others than it was to go within and help myself. I can share my story with you today, thanks to an awesome support system, which includes, but is not limited to, a wonderful counselor, great friends, family, and a very supportive husband. Thanks to some wonderful women whom I had the opportunity of connecting and growing with, I managed to not only share my story with the world through video, but that video encouraged me to write a book about my life. I learned that me sharing my story helped heal me and others. I also knew that I couldn't allow my past to continue to consume my present life. Eventually, I learned that the more I spoke my truth, the freer I felt. I was becoming more of myself. I no longer needed masks to cover up the shame and guilt I once felt. And as I continue to heal different layers of myself, I'm able to remove each mask and be more of who I was meant to be. My belief is I can let these traumatic events continue to run my life, or I can allow myself to feel what I need to feel about them and deal with them in a healthier way. Living in a normalized dysfunction is no longer an option for me. I prefer to stand firm, knowing that I can handle anything that comes my way. I had 8 violators in total from the ages of 7 to 14. They may have left me in pieces of ash, but they didn't realize I was a whole phoenix, because I'm still rising on their ass.
Yes, you are.
All right, girlfriend. See, my violators had me in a chokehold of guilt and shame for far too long. I won't give them too much time or energy tonight, but I would love to give the short version of how I got here to this wonderful place with you beautiful souls. If I told you I was in pain right now, would you know? I would assume not, because I've gotten very acquainted with masks. See, the smile that I have, it is a gift and a curse. It has brightened someone else's worst day, and it's also hidden a lot of my pain, emotional and physical. It's hidden my pain so well that most people have no idea just how much I've experienced or that I'm currently in. See, as a teenager who was having to hide what was going on at home with stepdad, I had to learn real quick how to throw on a mask for my mom, other relatives and friends. I didn't want anyone to know what was going on. I didn't want to let anyone in. I mean, my stepdad was my first, who would proudly admit that. I knew it wasn't right, but he was number 7, so I was already conditioned to accept it. Plus, my real dad wasn't around enough to show me how much I should have valued myself. Being violated by multiple people is where most of my shame and guilt kicked in at. It followed me into my adult life and into both of my marriages. I married and divorced my first husband by the age of 28. Me and him had 1 child together in this relationship, and she was a big part of why I knew I needed to heal. I needed to heal for me and for her as well. At the age of 32, I married my second husband, and in between marriages, I was living my best life, or so I thought. Y'all, look, I was in my big hoe phase, and at that time, I didn't care. Basically, I was so broken that the people I did choose to have serious relationships with had commitment issues. I kept thinking if I showed them how much I loved them, they would change. If I married them, they would see how serious it was, and they would change. Y'all, I don't know why it took me to do it twice before I finally figured it out, but I got it. Marriage does not change a person. It was me who needed to make some adjustments within myself. I did do some counseling in between marriages, but not enough. I got into the second marriage, and shortly after, it felt like deja vu. I was married to a man who was cheating on me only 2 months into the marriage. I won't lie and say that there weren't a few red flags prior to us marrying that I obviously chose to ignore, but I didn't realize it was that bad. This heartbreak was my breaking point. Not him cheating, but me feeling like I was never going to be enough for anyone. Like my whole life, I would have to prepare for my heart to be broken over and over again by different people with the same kind of soul. I didn't realize it was me. I was attracted to these kinds of people. It's just that I thought I'd gotten it right this time, but I didn't. So in that moment, it made me question what was wrong with me. Why wasn't I enough? In the midst of starting counseling again, I found out more of what my husband was doing. And it was in that moment that I was like, okay, I'm tired of all of this. I allowed my emotions to consume me and felt like I was done with life and what it had to offer. So I took a handful of pills and washed it back with some liquor. I was so tired of being hurt and broken by those who were supposed to love me. And because I didn't love myself enough, I was willing to check out completely for a moment. Thankfully, that attempt didn't work. Me and my counselor did a good bit of work, and since then I've started this healing journey. I'm starting to put one piece of healing and connecting it with another. It's all coming together, slowly but surely. And being surrounded by people who are on the same journey inspires me to stay on this path no matter how hard it may be. Now, I find purpose and meaning when I get the opportunity to connect with other souls. It is important to me that I leave people better than I found them. Even if we don't talk often or ever again, if you're a better person because I played a small role in your life, then I've done my part. If you're wondering how that second marriage is going, y'all, me and my husband are still together 5 years later, and a lot of intentional inner healing work on both sides has helped us heal in ways that we didn't even realize were needed. Don't get me wrong, my eyes will forever be wide open. But I understand now that we were both two broken people trying something out that neither of us had a good understanding of. Neither of us knew what a healthy, successful marriage looked like. So we both needed to take some time to heal. And so far, we managed to heal in a way that's brought us together instead of apart.
That deserves some claps. Marriage is not fun, okay?
Oh, look, this is the last time. If y'all don't take anything else away from this, I want you to know that despite of what was done or said to you, no matter how you felt about it, no matter how you reacted to it, you can still release that hold that it has over your life. You don't have to carry that burden forever. It was never meant for you to carry.
Yeah.
And for some, maybe it's unforgiveness you hold on to in your own heart for something you did. But hear me out. You cannot carry that for the rest of your life either. At some point, you have to put it down, make your peace with it and bury it, leave it there, write it down and burn it. Whatever you have to do to transfer that energy from your body, please do it. Why are you carrying it anyway? Isn't it heavy? Haven't you carried it long enough? You know what happened. You know the truth. You know what you did and didn't do. You know how you feel, and you know your true intentions. So stop worrying about what they said or what they will say. This is about you and your peace. Freedom from the mask that you once needed to get by in this thing we call life. Surrendering the mask that was once part of your identity. Freeing yourself from the masks that are no longer needed. Also, please take a moment to ask yourself the why questions. Like, why am I the way that I am? Is this me or is this my trauma response? Why do I react this way? Do I show up healthy and whole, or am I trying to fill voids? Understand that we all have our own individual way of functioning and getting through life. So there's no judgment about where you are on your journey. I just want us to all be on a journey that resembles healing, whatever that may be for you. Because what may work for me may not work for you. But I'm sure you can find something that speaks to your soul. It takes just as much energy to remain a victim of your circumstances as it takes to become victorious despite it all. So choose wisely. If I was asked today, Marie, would you do it all again? Would you be willing to relive the life that you've experienced? The short answer is yes. Yes, because without everything that took place and me choosing the path that I chose, there's a strong possibility I wouldn't be all of who I am today. And I wouldn't be here connecting with all of you. This life isn't easy, but every day that I get a chance to have a positive impact on another soul is another day that was worth living. So I regret nothing I accept everything as it is, and I know I have the power from here on out to live the life that's best for me. I can finally say yes to surrendering the mask. I now know I'm all of who I need to be without them. I love you all, and thank you for taking time out of your night to hear our stories.